All right, last question.
Okay.
You're pushing real hard to be vice president, right?
No, really, I'm not.
No.
You'd like to be vice president.
There was an old song by the Seeds called Pushing Too Hard.
If asked, you would be vice president.
Of this radio station, no problem.
We're going down in flames.
We
sir,
could
before
use
you sign on.
Yeah.
Why does no one want to answer that question?
Well, it's really kind of unbecoming to say, hey, here am I. I'd like for you, because it's John McCain's decision. I'm going to respect whoever he picks. And, you know, if you start needling for the job, it looks like you're just, kind of bad form.
Well, I did hear you say that if it were offered to you, you wouldn't have to ever apologize.
That's what I said.
And the press campaigned on.
Yeah, and then the press said that I was asking for the job. I said, no, I have nothing to live down. I never said anything about John McCain that I'd have to go back and explain. Say, well, I didn't really mean it then, which I have a problem with, because
that's the trickiest thing about being a politician, by the way, and especially now in the YouTube generation, is that every word you say 24 hours a day, 7 days a week can be used as if it was testimony.
And it will be. You bet it will.
Well, Miss Clinton has already offered the position to Obama, but if she would offer it to you...
Hey, there is a greater likelihood that she will dye her hair green, get tattoos and piercings, and go on tour with Amy Winehouse.
After swallowing that curtain rod.
After swallowing the curtain rod. If it would get her the
freak job vote, she'd go there.
She might go there.
Right.
Probably.
Now, you did something phenomenal while you were the governor of Arkansas, and not a lot of people know about it, but it has to do with why you're here today, and why you're here with these incredible musicians. And for anyone who just tuned in, Mike Huckabee is playing a benefit tonight for music education at the Redmond Firehouse Teen Center, 7 o'clock. Alan White is here.
Dr. Bob.
Wreak
Havoc.
Of Havoc. No, Wreak Havoc. Is that your real name?
That's a real name.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's my legal name. I sort of have an image to live down to, but
okay. And Dr. Bob, Tom Berg, that's you, Dr. Bob, in the stripe shirt,
me.
right? Okay. From Music Aid Northwest. What is Music Aid Northwest? And then I want Mike to tell the story from Arkansas.
Music Aid Northwest is a group that started. Alan White helped us begin when we had all the natural disasters of a few years ago that are still going on. We all decided to form a 501c3 charity and put on concerts to help the people, the victims of those disasters. And now we've decided we want a sustainable kind of contribution to society. And so we're trying to have a specialty license plate, like you see the Husky license plates and the Cougar license plates, that we can get the proceeds from the sale of that license plate and give it back to the schools that school districts that purchase a license plate. So instead of selling magazines, perhaps in the high schools, they can sell license plates, and then the money will actually go back at a major percentage to the people that bought them to have a perpetual.
And school music programs, like, they're the first thing that those evil Republicans cut, right? I mean,
myth, Republican myth.
Well, no, they're the first thing that gets cut when times are tough. Schools are locally funded, right? For the most part, that stuff, the state government cuts that stuff. Who cut our music and gym programs?
Well, for the most part, each state has it differently. In Arkansas, the state has the ultimate responsibility, but it's a shared local-state deal. And, you know, when I was governor, one of the things that I felt very passionate about, when you cut music and art programs out of a school, what you've done is you've ruined the school. Because we are created to have the right side of our brain function as much as the left side.
Creatively.
The creative side. And if you take music and art programs out of a student's curriculum, you end up with what we have, is 6,000 kids a day in America dropping out of school. And they're dropping out because they're bored. Not because they're dumb. They're bored. They're bored to death. I was one of the first governors in America. We were one of the first states that mandates music and art education for every student, K through 12, every single week.
No, it's Arkansas, so does it have to be bluegrass, or can you do a different kind of music?
Boom!
And being friends with Alan, I know if you hadn't taken piano lessons as a kid, you wouldn't be playing music for...
You took piano lessons, Al?
Well, from the age 6, yeah.
Age
I
6?
played piano before drums.
Oh, I had music in school.
I had the teacher who wrap my knuckles with a ruler, you know, when I got one note wrong.
All right.
But maybe this is, you're paying back here somehow. Too.
Did you, and where did you pick up the bass?
When I was 11 years old, I got my first guitar. It was a J.C. Penney mail-order guitar my parents paid $99 for. It took them a year to pay for it. A year to pay $99.
To pay for your bass.
To pay, well, yeah, and you but I wanted to be in a rock band. That's what I wanted to do in my whole life. And so, I played that thing till my fingers nearly bled. And, music became an important part of my life. But it also gave me a sense of confidence. I was a shy, bashful little kid. Obviously, I've gotten over that.
Got over the shy thing, yeah.
But I wouldn't have had it not been for music and the later drama, working in theater and debate. Whether it's Alan White or it's me or anybody else, I'll tell you, music will change a kid's life. And not just music. It might be dance. It might be theater. It might be, the visual arts. But the point is, every child has an innate sense of artistic capacity. I was saying to some of our folks earlier, take a child when he's 5 years old. You don't have to beg him to sing. You have to tell him to quit. You don't have to ask him to draw a picture. You have to tell him it's time to eat dinner. What happens when that same kid's 15? You can't get him to draw. You can't get him to sing. Why? Because the crazy educational system in this country has beat the ever-living creativity out of him. And that's wrong, and it's the reason our educational system's in the toilet today.
Yeah, hasn't it been proven, though, that kids that do have pick up an instrument do better academically?
Absolutely.
Science and math, absolutely.
They'll do 10 points better on the SAT and math. They will learn language better. They will do science, everything. And part of it is simple. They learn how to learn. But the other part is, if you stimulate the cognitive side of your brain, you're going to see that there's dramatic improved capacities for learning. And so, if you really want to improve math and science and language scores, don't cut music, increase it. You'll actually see the direct benefit from that.
What a great guy, Mike Huckabee.
Would you run for president?
No,
Really?
It's a dead-end deal. I've been there, done that, have a lot of T-shirts to prove it, too.
I do have one request of you before you leave, though. If everybody else could be quiet. Could you just say this for me? Hi, this is Vice President Huckabee, and you're listening to the Bob Rivers Show. I just want to have it in case.
Yeah, right. If I said that, that's going to end up going all over the network. Huckabee is so blatant in his ambition that he's actually calling himself.
You won't even say it so we can edit it down later, will you?
I know.
You won't
Can
even
you just say,
You're
hi,
smart.
this is Mike Huckabee. I am against Vice.
Yeah.
If I were ever president someday, that'd be good. You've been really fun to be with. I've seen you on the comedy shows. You're one of the easiest going presidential candidates out there. It's a shame. It's like, you get to know someone and you know how nice they are, but during the heat of the campaign, it's just battle, battle, battle.
Well, that's one of the frustrations of a campaign. The debates were really more like game shows than they were debates. It was very frustrating. And I think that it's important that people get to know candidates, not because they have an assumption, oh, he's a Republican, so therefore people say, I know all about him. Do they really? Or he's a Democrat, I know everything I need to know about him. Maybe not. And I really do believe that that's one of the unfortunate things of politics is we get to stereotyping people.
Well, they ask like you're supposed to give it a 3-second soundbite. Answers to complex.
No, we were looking for flat tax or flat worm. Flat worm would have been
Well, the
correct
thing that got me, like you do these debates, and the question would be a minute and a half that the host would say, now, if Iran were to attack Iraq, and if Russia were to come, and they go through this long scenario and said, now, you have 30 seconds, what would you do? I'd say I'd just push the button and be done with it. Why not?
Hallelujah.
Mike Huckabee, thank you very much for all you're doing for music education, all of the information about this amazing jam session, which is tonight at the Old Redmond Firehouse Teen Center at 7 o'clock. Will be on our website, bobrivers.com. All the best.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe.